Anyway, yo,
The
it's
numbers
been
meet
forever.
I know, right? It's been a long ass time.
It's been so long.
It's been a few months.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, we live.
We live, baby. We live.
Yeah, we live. Damn. Back like we never left, right?
All right.
We gotta go sicko mode.
Back
And I'm
like
about to hit y'all with a
vertebrae.
classic. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's DJ Third Strike here.
Oh my god, yo. Shut the fuck up.
Yo. And you know what's crazy? The return and Riff is back.
Yep, Riff did the return of Riff, the return to the podcast.
Right? Yo. It's been
This is the new theme song you hear in the background, by the way.
Huh?
This is the new theme song in the background, by the way.
Nah.
Theme song we're working with.
Yo, sicko mode instrumental?
Just the instrumental, by the way.
Oh man.
All right. Anyways, everybody here yet?
Not yet.
So,
No, wait on Kenny.
there's no use of typical
I'm right here.
bombing ass. You know, typical.
I am here reporting for duty.
It's Kenny.
Kenny.
I've been
Anyway, the return of the OmegaSquad podcast.
Yep.
This is episode
Yeah.
28. It's the return, though. Yeah.
Huh?
Anyway.
Why are you talking like that?
But yeah, anyway. What's up, people?
What's up, nigga?
Good.
Homies. Anyway, we're going to introduce yourself. We're going to start off with Big Nigga Riff Nigga.
Yo.
Hey, what's going on? This is Master Riff, the IT god, the network god, overall god, period. What's up, niggas?
Yep.
He's a god, by the way.
That was aggressive.
He went to school.
Right.
Went to school to be a god.
Kenny?
Hi, everybody. I know it's been a while. Cough, cough.
Shut up.
But it's good to be back live from the 215 or the 610 or 267. Where
You know
you
what's
at?
funny? I can't hear Kenny in the.
It's a thing called muting myself on one audio thingy. Anyway, despite the interruption from my bronze brethren,
Wait.
I am now a part of Witch Doctor GG. Spread the hashtag, spread the cleanse.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're at April Annihilation coming soon, aka next weekend.
Next week.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was it's that soon?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Lamar?
Hey.
What was that?
I'm trying to figure out why I can't hear Kenny. I don't know what that's about. But hey, everybody, Sneaker.
You don't know who can't hear him.
Do you got him muted on G Talk?
No, I don't think so, but it's whatever. Let me see. But anyway, yeah, the Sneaker O'Toole. I've been up since 6 a.m.
Yep.
6 a.m. That's it.
Adulting.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean that's it?
Nigga, I've been up since 5.
And
This ain't the been up there.
you think the been up? This ain't a been up conversation. Anyway, no,
Oh,
yeah, I'm very excited.
It's a
about
competition
the
for
podcast
whoever's
being
been
back.
up for the longest for some fucking
Kind of in the
reason.
dark
I was
about
up
it.
at 4 in the morning. What's your point?
You
I
have
didn't
no
go to bed. How
life.
about that?
You have no life.
Hey,
Social reject.
the social reject ass.
Lamar, you just muted Kenny.
No, I'm trying to unmute him. That's what I mean. Like, unmute him because I can't hear him, and it's bugging the fuck out of me.
Why are you fucking with shit, man?
Touching shit.
Ah!
Touching shit.
Touch your shit.
What is he? What,
Damn. He's fine. Leave it alone, Kenny. I mean, leave it alone, Lamar. Leave it alone,
I didn't
Lamar.
do nothing. No, Kenny left that time. I didn't do nothing.
Why did-
Bro,
Whatever.
I did nothing.
did that work? How about now?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
we can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
I can hear you fine.
I
What
can hear
about
you
you?
fine last time.
Oh well, I'll work with it. I don't know why I can't hear him, but I feel like if we were on Discord, but I digress.
You can hear the rest of us, right?
Shut up.
I can hear the rest of y'all.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we gotta go Google mode, but
Hey, listen.
That's what that song was.
Y'all better
on,
leave me the
Google
fuck
mode.
alone. Y'all better leave me the fuck alone. About this damn Discord shit. We're gonna get to it eventually, nigga.
Hey, we should start
right
testing it
now.
out.
Okay.
We should start testing it out soon anyway.
Right, in Google
Thank you.
mode.
Anyway, Holland, introduce yourself.
Whew.
You can't
Back
say somebody's name and say introduce yourself.
for the next time. This is I know, right? This is Holland, aka Omega Nitro Squad Leader, OmegaSquad Don Show.
Oh, all the time, right? All the time. Holy
Fucking
shit.
loser.
Anyway,
Right?
and Biggie Gaming Head Honcho.
Okay.
Anyway, follow me at twitch.tv/Omega Nitro. You know what it is. We
That stream sucked dick.
getting our ass beat. Kenny hate, but that's okay. He a bitch. And anyway,
Stream a bitch.
Damn.
I love all of y'all. Good to see y'all again. See y'all
Button
at
mashing, nigger.
Annihilation.
Anyway,
Who next?
it's me, your man Rice, who's been
Your
adulting
man Rice.
for like the past like 3 months and getting prepared for this damn wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've
your
been
man
getting-
Rice.
I've been waiting to get married this whole fucking time.
Huh?
So we can bring the super soakers.
Oh God. Wait, did Holland tell you about that story or wait, did
I was in there when it happened.
Oh my God. Anyway,
We're soakers.
that's a story for I guess April Annihilation
Super
or whatever.
soak that.
In case
Oh.
we see y'all there. But anyway,
How much the spectator fee, yo?
Like $20,
Like-
something like that. I don't know.
no.
Yeah, it's more now.
Yeah, I think it's like 50, I think it's like 30.
Rip.
Yeah, I'll look in a second. But anyway,
It's not that big a deal though. Still, it's chump change for a stagnant, caked up nigga like Riff.
right.
So that's chump change. Oh.
Oh, what the
Money
money?
is nothing.
Money's nothing.
I invented it.
Whoa. Oh no, that's Friday. Well, it doesn't even say. But anyway, all right. So first quick news. Cetrion. Anyone see Cetrion? MK11?
Oh,
Trailer.
the new bull.
That's
That's
a
a,
girl.
that's a girl.
It's a girl.
That's a John.
That's Shinnok's sister.
All right, well, new
Oh,
joint.
that's the story? Oh,
It's
okay.
the elder goddess, Shinnok's sister.
Yeah.
Sister.
Makes sense. Because, yo, she got the powers of being Tremor, Blaze. Who else? She got like Poison Ivy type shit. She got a whole bunch of shit.
She was
Drawing.
fucking great. She was fucking Jade up in that.
Yo,
preview.
man, what makes me mad is like, yo, I like the character, right?
Right.
All the animations and stuff look sick, right?
Right.
Why the fuck is her fatality so ass?
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to beat Noob Saibot.
There we go.
Ooh,
That is true. New Cybox was the shit.
That's how
Yo, how about this? Why are the fucking fatalities in this one so fucking extra?
That's the point, because they were so
Well, that's MK in general, though.
Well, no, MK has always been extra, but like they went above and beyond with that. Like I haven't seen so many freaking disembodied eyeballs like ever.
I like
No.
it.
No, one fatality that draws is freaking Sonya's. Like
Jackie's was dumb.
Wait, which one?
where she shoots the person up into the helicopter blades and shit. Like really.
How about this? How about on a lot of them they'll cut your head off and then do shit to your head? It's like, nigga, he did already.
He already did.
Mortal Kombat.
Right.
So is this a complaint or just an observation? Because I like it.
It's just an observation.
But I'm just like, it's funny
My
how
favorite.
they dialed up the extraness to like. I thought
Times
Mortal
20.
Kombat 10. I thought MKX had already like dialed how extra the fatalities were up to 11, and then it was like, nigga, you thought this was my final form, and then they went even more OD with this one.
So
I like it.
You're saying it's more extra than Dead or Alive boo physics?
Well, yeah, it's always been more.
It's always
Man,
been more,
Mortal
yeah.
Kombat 2 is more extra than that.
My favorite one is still from Deadly Alliance, where Sub-Zero freezes you, takes your head off, and throws your head at you. That's
Yeah,
what
I like that one.
that one was just so like.
Now he do like the freaking he cut your head off, take your spine out, pick your head back up, and then like punch it. What you do that for?
Like, what you do that for? You might as well just. Oh, shit.
Man.
But yeah. So anyway, anything on the Cetrion? Like anything else anybody likes about?
She looks like she's
Fatalities?
gonna be pretty good. I'm really thinking about playing this game, even though I probably won't. I most likely won't. Yeah.
I like the character design and everything, but that freaking fatality kind of was corny. I hope the other one is better though.
It's kind of whack.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
But Noob Saibot had the best so far, so
Yeah.
Cybots is quite OD.
Noob Saibot's and Johnny Cage's are just so
Johnny
Yeah.
Cage has the funniest
Oh,
one.
his is the funniest.
That shit was
Deadly Uppercut take 2.
All right, take 2. Take 19. Bat. We finally got his head off.
Hire this guy. What the fuck?
what the fuck?
I mean, Johnny Cage is just hilarious in general.
That
Something
was a
about
nod to the
Mortal
movie.
Kombat though is I've always liked I've enjoyed like Mortal Kombat has always looked good to me, but I could never play it. You know, like I enjoyed the story
Same.
mode of like 9 and 10, and you know, even though like the story gets freaking ridiculous, but what fighting game story doesn't?
Right.
But all that said, like, and the story mode is cool, but competitively, I just can't get down.
I can't
with
get
it.
into it either. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it, but it's a little too stiff for me, and just the way projectiles work, how they just pass through each other, it makes the projectile game entirely different than pretty much any other 2D fighting game, and I don't like it at all. So
I don't like block buttons, so
yeah, I hate that too. Hate block buttons, hate run buttons, although that's not really a thing anymore.
I wish they had run in MK11. Shit.
Oh yeah, that's right. They took it out, so it moves a little slower than MKX used to.
Even though the run was part of the reason why the MKX was broken, but I like the brokenness of that.
Yeah, sometimes it's good for them to like slow games down.
Yeah.
You know, not make it not so ridiculous. I mean, like when they move from Street Fighter 3, I mean, yeah, when they move from like Third Strike to 4, where you know it's like, yeah, all these systems, and it's like, let's try to make it simple again. But
Yeah.
so I can understand that approach, but just the fundamentals of NRS games are just something I've never been able to really get into. So I
Yeah,
hope
for me, it's two different. Like, I mean, for Tekken and Mortal Kombat, those are two games I always support, but I never really knew how to approach playing them. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong or like good, so it's just like I don't know. I just stick to what I know and I, like dabble in it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat X, I had no clue what I was doing, but I played it.
yeah, I mean, I'll probably pick this one up too, just to play through the story and like see what's going on. But yeah, as far as competing, Sonic Fox can have that one. I ain't getting 13. I ain't getting 13 those first to fucking.
He said,
Oh, he said that. He said that. He brought that up.
Yeah,
he was there. $100.
Right.
Oh man, we all was there too. Yeah.
$100 in my pocket.
Did the $100 come up?
But yeah. All right, moving on.
super free.
Capcom still not announcing nothing.
So,
what are y'all thoughts?
Okay.
That shit is make people quit your game.
How about this though?
I definitely should have said Kenny, but okay.
Oh, Kenny. All right, go ahead.
Well, honestly, it's kind of how I feel about Dragon Ball. Like it's like it kind of got the announcement of an announcement, and then we got the announcement like later on, and then instead of getting a trailer, we got like her talking about Jiren. It's like this one we get less than that because honestly, it feels like a step backwards because last year they showed the what was it, season 2 or season 3? They showed like all the characters that were coming and Cody Like they show Cody, everybody, the new chick Falk, who was the most boring bitch ever. But they showed what we're getting. This one is like Capcom Pro Tour, like grand finals is over. They're like, oh, we're gonna get an announcement. Nothing.
They've been pretty much silent. Like,
yeah, they got Kage and the season 4 started. Nope, nothing. Final round. The first event. Punk won. Nothing. NCR, nothing. So it's like, okay, if we don't get something by Evo, what's the incentive to continue playing the game except the money?
The money.
So
right. Okay. So how about this though? Has anybody considered that they might just be fucking done as far as new characters are concerned?
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I think they should tell us that though.
I mean, yeah, I guess you have a point as far as like
could just say like we ain't doing no more characters now. We concentrating on the balance of the game.
Yeah, they're focusing on like bringing out extra content and shit. And it's really bittersweet for me because a lot of the content they're coming out with, is shit that I would really like. Like, they have all the Mega Man and all of the cosplay outfits. They have they have like they've been coming out with new stages that look really cool. They've been coming out with a lot of good fan servicey stuff, but it's just for a game that I
about to say, but then you remember the game.
The game we don't like.
Game that I hate playing, so it's like I can't support it. Like I would love to support it, but I can't really. But it makes sense that they would focus more on that kind of stuff because it's a lot less work and they get a lot more money. They're trying to push skins and stages and that kind of shit. And I'm not really mad at them for it because at this point, the roster is pretty well filled out, I think.
Yeah. What was it, like 30 characters?
Just about, a little bit more.
Yeah, like the roster's pretty fucking... the roster's pretty filled. There's not... I know everybody has their character that they still want in the game. Oh, put E Honda in there, put T-Hawk, whatever.
Ew.
But at this point, most of the characters that are missing are like not really the fan favorites or are characters that I would honestly rather them not fucking put in the game so they can just butcher it like they have so many other characters at this point.
Jury,
Sakura, like a lot of characters just aren't that, it's like when you want those characters in the game and then what you get doesn't really measure up to what you actually want. Expectations are just ruined in every sense.
And to piggyback off of that, I do feel like Cody, like what we got was like don't get me wrong, he looks cool as fuck. And like Kenny Omega did that thing with him at Combo Breaker.
Yeah, that was great.
Cool. That was great. And then first you found out the release date's like a month and a half later. That was like because you saw the whole audience looking at the release date and everyone was like, what the fuck? And then when he comes out, it's just
it's just all.
He has a fireball and no way around fireballs when he used to have every way around fireballs. So it's like, all right, whatever. So then you fast forward and then Chun-Li has more skins than there are characters, and it's like, all right, I don't really know.
Are you really surprised by that? She's the golden girl, man.
I understand that, but
not at all. But
all they needed to do from a long-term perspective was give us a roadmap of what's coming out instead of like leaning forward at the end of every premiere event.
Are they going to give us something now?
Like Holland in that DiCaprio trailer, he stands up and leans forward all shocked and shit, and like that's everybody waiting from them to give us something. So,
and they ran that shit into the ground.
Exactly, and it's like a Marvel movie, like
that clip.
The crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of, DiCaprio actually would have been good in this game.
Yeah.
She would have been. I mean, that model's in there. Like, if anything, I would have expected DiCaprio by now.
And Abel, because Abel's in there too.
Yeah, like, because characters be in story mode. It's like, hello?
Remember, like, when we thought we was going to get the dolls?
Man, niggas, the people thought they was going to get the cop.
Man, that shit was bullshit. It was just a damn mod for a fucking guy with a gun.
Yo.
Yeah, so
Give him a super mode where he shoots himself in the head, so I can use it as a metaphor for playing the game, and I'll buy it.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that would.
But yeah, overall,
Wait, was that too dark?
Yes.
The news on Capcom is that there is no news, but it's just weird that there's so many different parallel, like two different divisions of a company, because you have the RE Engine people working on Resident Evil 7 and the remake and Devil May Cry, and then you got Capcom Fighting Game Division. It's just like tumbleweed. Like what?
Well, they just working on skins and shit. It's not like they're not working on nothing. They're just working on skins and shit.
Capcom has gone through like a crazy ass renaissance where it's like they can't do wrong, except when it comes to fighting games.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Like all of their games have been great. Yep. And then we sitting here with Street Fighter 5, like, boo-ba-doo.
Right.
You just gotta deal with that.
Or they figured out that they couldn't satisfy everybody, so it's like, we're gonna shut the fuck up. We're gonna work on this game, and that's gonna be that.
Well, I do feel
though.
I feel like they're gonna announce something at E3 that is Street Fighter related, but it might be Street Fighter 6 or the final whatever we're getting for Street
Fighter 6. That's kind of rough, man. They should
be both.
Yeah, like the final Street Fighter
version.
Probably be like the final version of Street Fighter 5 with like some new characters or some shit coming out soon, and then they announced that they're started development on Street Fighter 6.
Either that, or we get like a Tekken Cross Street Fighter announcement. We waiting for that.
That's Namco. That's not even freaking Capcom.
Okay,
they're done.
That got shut down within 5 seconds, so never mind.
we might get something
on
it.
Said anything.
No, we might get something on it, but it won't be from Capcom. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll say that. Just imagine if they did announce Tekken Cross Street Fighter, that would have killed Street Fighter 5.
Possibly, but sadly, it doesn't take much to kill Street Fighter 5.
Yeah. On the one hand, it doesn't. On the one hand, it's Street Fighter 5. On the other hand, fucking Street Fighter Cross Tekken didn't kill Street Fighter 4.
Well, Capcom killed that game because of their flagship game.
And it had one of my favorite fucking trailers.
I think the game had a lot of potential.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I love that trailer.
Oh yeah, the trailer was amazing.
I love that game, man.
They had Lamar.
I don't.
Lamar, they
that game was great.
Lamar,
you love the game until you remember playing it.
I remember.
They had Rise Against, yo.
Yeah, I still play that song.
Oh my god!
I played that song the other day. Actually, it was on my.
Jim was about to murder that bitch. Oh my god!
You're talking about you love that game.
That game was great, man.
You don't love Bust Out Cross Timeout. Stop it.
I'm talking about the later part. The later patch of
Bust Out Cross Timeout.
You're the only one in here that loved that game. Shut the fuck up, Rick.
I don't care. Sometimes people are entitled to like bad games. Sometimes, damn.
Well, what are you, Joe?
No, not to his extent.
He said no.
No, he enjoys just bad games all around all the time. That was like
some Lion King shit. He's like, what about shit posting? We don't go over there.
You must never go there.
But honestly, I think with no announcements, it's a good thing. Let the game develop on its own.
Well, that's awesome. But like I said, for example, I hate to make the comparison, but League of Legends, they have a roadmap they do like every 3 to 4 months telling us what we're getting. They don't give a fucking release date, but they're saying, hey, you get a new support, you get a new assassin, and you get a rework on Mordekaiser. That's what you get for now. We'll see you in June or July or whatever.
Actually, yeah, Kenny, that's actually a very good comparison because fucking when they were talking about, like, when they had the panel, like the Evo panel, talking about Street Fighter, it's talking about Street Fighter 5 and what their plans were for it. They were trying to fucking they were basically trying to emulate League of Legends' entire strategy. So they've done it pretty fucking badly.
They pretty much stopped even doing any type of roadmap literally the first year.
Well, here's the thing. Fighting games as a service doesn't work.
I mean, I think it's too. I think this way too dismissive to say something like that.
I think we were playing Tekken Revolution like motherfuckers. We was like, yeah, this is the best shit we got right now. We were playing the fuck out that joke.
And even then, like everybody who's done fighting games as a service so far has kind of half-assed it. Either in a way that either they haven't gone full on with pricing and how the games work, because most games that are, a game quote unquote as a service, most games like that are free to plays.
Yep.
True.
And you pay for it, and you can unlock your characters and stuff, and then you worry about additional content that people have to pay for that doesn't particularly affect the game, or that might affect the game. But that is the whole games as a service kind of model, where it's like I let you play the game for free, but then I keep releasing content over time that you're going to want to buy.
Yeah, because honestly, I think that model works just because it gives little to no incentive. Like I've seen people, again, I hate to make the comparison, but League of Legends, I have spent, and this is like, I don't know if it's the exact number, I've spent $1,700 on League of Legends.
Yeah, I've spent over $1,000 on League of Legends.
I spent a couple hundred. So
yeah, so that brings in more money than you would ever pay for like the physical copy of the fucking game. You know what I mean?
I've only spent $100.
See,
you still spent more than it would have cost to buy a $60 game.
Right.
True. And in order for me to be incentivized, however you say that word,
incentivized
to buy a fighting game that's free to play, I have to know that all the characters from every Street Fighter is going to be
right.
I mean, but if like say Street Fighter 6 was just straight up, we're starting out with these 8 characters and we're releasing new characters every couple months.
8 characters is not enough. And personally, if they want to do seasons, you need to release all the characters at the beginning of the season so everybody has fair time to learn these characters.
But the biggest problem, and they don't have to even come out and say it, but one of the biggest flaws they did in terms of what engine to put it on is the Unreal Engine. That's one of the most graphically intensive engine to come out on, and I'm pretty sure they have to submit whatever they're going to come out with in a queue, because I think they said Geese took like a year and a half to come out, didn't it?
Sure did.
Find out or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about for KOF, or you talking about for?
I'm talking about for any fighting game that's on the Unreal Engine, which is Street Fighter and Tekken.
Developing for UE4 is a bit difficult.
Well, they might somehow do the RE engine though.
Yeah, and I'll wait till 2020 as long as it's like polished, right? Like you announce it now and then bring it out next year. Let's go.
I just want it to be a good game. Whatever they come out with next, I just want it to be actually fun to play and not feel like freaking a crapshoot all the damn time.
Yeah, but I agree with how they're probably going to release another version. There's probably going to be a disc-based version, not a DLC version, and then they're going to probably include probably 10 new characters. Say, all right, this is it.
Yeah, and then be like, all right, developing Street Fighter 6.
Honestly, the parallels are like shocking, because Street Fighter 4 I was like goodbye sniffle, but Street Fighter 5 I'm like good riddance.
Good fucking Who bitch this is? Get her out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you
Street Fighter 5 is like, get him out of there.
How did you get here? You're not supposed to be here. Street Fighter not supposed to be here.
All right, so moving on to
waiting for new DLC this whole fucking. All right, that's my last one. Go ahead.
Talking about DLC, or talking about updates in general. Dragon Ball.
Oh, that's that button.
Yay!
No, you skipped something.
What I miss?
Power Rangers.
Fuck Power Rangers.
Damn!
How dare you?
It's a solid topic, but
What?
Hardcore.
Cold-blooded.
You asshole.
All right. Power Rangers. Thoughts, Lamar?
hi, hold on. Okay, so I'm fighting Armor King with the
I think
character.
you don't
play
even
no
play
more.
that shit.
No, I didn't even get like a long time to play it. My
Colin, grow
homie
the
brought
fuck up.
So wait. So hear me out.
Oh my fucking god.
I saw the review IGN gave it, and then I asked my
Didn't
coworker.
spell ignorant without IGN, but go
I
ahead.
know, right? I said, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Bring that copy of Power Rangers you have to work." He's like, "All right, whatever."
Fucking hate you.
Colin.
Fuck. He's like, "Yeah, bring that copy of Power Rangers with you to work." And when I played it, I'm like, "Damn, this is actually kind of fun." and it had like Marvel mechanics of just like wall bouncing, mix ups, and like assist setups and stuff like that. Being able
that game broken as shit.
Oh, but it's like that's the thing about it. It's a fun game, but then when you really try to break it open, it's like there's so much wrong with it that you just go, "Oh my god, this is horrible."
Well, yeah, it's a $20 game, so
that don't mean shit.
That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
I paid full price for Marvel Infinite. We see how that worked out.
I'm about to say, yeah. There's a game that people pay $60 for. They still complaining about it. Street Fighter 5. Right? It never fails. Street Fighter 5. Oh god.
Oh god.
Yeah. No, but everything. But here's what it is, and I feel like IGN had the same thing. It's so much. The mechanics are really, really good, and it kind of makes it go, "Oh man, I'm having a really fun time." But when you really dissect that game, you go, "Yo, this game is broken as hell." So that reminded me of like the Sailor Moon game. Niggas is playing the fuck out that joint, but that joint is all over the damn place.
All right, so Sailor Moon is busted, but it's also like it's really fundamentally solid though. So I mean, it's kind of difficult for me to really hold that against them. Just the fact that there's a lot of really busted shit, because there's a lot of really busted shit in like Super Turbo, for example.
God,
yeah,
it's still a really good game,
and that's how I feel about this one. Like fundamentally, I'm like, hey, I have to anti-air you because you're jumping in at me. What do you want me to do here? Oh, this is a charged character. He's like big and bulky, so he's gonna be a bruiser. He's gonna be like, oh, he has an anti-air grab. That's fucked up. Like it has the mechanic of something really, really good, but then it's just like, oh, you can't block low online.
Is that netcode any good at all?
Oh, the netcode on systems and console wired is amazing. Wi-Fi is sketchy, but I heard Switch has it the fucking worst.
That surprises absolutely nobody.
It was just funny. He was just like, oh, we invited y'all to the table. Y'all fucking up. Oh, damn, they got to get up now.
Man, you got to pity.
They gotta get up now.
You gotta pity.
Try again.
Get up.
No, but that's what I was saying. It's so when a fighting game has good fundamentals, when a fighting game has really good fundamentals, but the engine is completely unfinished and unpolished, is it still a good fighting game?
No.
No.
Really?
No, it's not.
What makes a good fighting game is a fundamentally sound game.
Okay, so it's not just being a fundamentally sound game, but it's also having that layer of polish and that like care and effort put into it that makes it actually fun to play and doesn't make people feel like they just got cheesed out of all their wins or like they're not even really trying to, like if when you win a game, you don't even feel a sense of accomplishment. You're just like, yeah, okay. Then you're kind of failing as a fighting game. Like, for example, like a lot of games in Street Fighter 5, a lot of people would say actually that Street Fighter 5 is like a good fighting game because, like, yeah, it has fundamentals and it has anti-airs and it has this and that, whatever. But
fuck it, don't.
The systems on top of it and a lot of the things about it make it like kind of invalidate the fundamentals. So to the point where it's like, hey, I'm just I crunch the numbers and this is my best option just all the time. So I'm just going to mash this option. And if you get hit with it, then I just win. And then
V-trigger.
It's like fucking heavy up, crush counter, V-trigger cancel, full combo, and you die. All right.
You lose 50%, then next hit up, stun, dead.
Yeah, like
it honestly, if somebody should make a compilation, not like people make compilations of whip punishing in the game or whatever like that. Make a compilation of how many people do wake up whatever. Like, I'm sorry, like people that not even wake up Shuriken, which I can respect because it takes some type of risk.
It takes a risk, yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to meet them when you wake up, or one, you don't even get a chance, or two, they wake up with something that's like wake up jab into a full counter hit combo. That is the most disgusting shit I've ever seen in the game, and it honestly ruins watching the game.
Well, that kind of takes it to the skill gap at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that it's like literally a part of the game, and even commentators don't even like bring up the fact that he did wake up jab, and it's like become like accepted, it's disgusting. Like I was watching fucking Gachikun play. He did wake up like standing jab in a medium into full combo. I'm like, no one's going to talk about the fact that he just woke up and got a full combo.
So you're saying, wait.
It was
so
a
you're
good
saying,
idea.
So you're saying it's now a bias towards shit that normally wasn't accepted back in the old era?
Possibly, but regardless of bias, it's just like it's the fact that it's built in that, hey, I got my ass beaten. I can stand up and then hit you back now. And it's like a thing. I hate to sound like it's a scrubby thing, but it's just it's the most
scrubby thing.
No,
It is
scrubby. Definitely.
It's the most eye-rolling shit. He did it like 3 times. I'm like, this is the most eye-rolling shit I've ever seen in my life. And it's just like this game of pity pet where it's disgusting. Like, ugh.
Like when your game basically devolves into a point where stuff that doesn't really require a lot of risk or a lot of thought becomes a lot of the most optimal shit in the game, and you can just the game starts pretty much playing itself and doesn't really have that kind of all right. So a term that like a lot of people like to use that I actually pretty much agree with is expression. Like like fighting games in the end are all about expression, where it's like I'm going to show my mastery of my character or how much better I am at reading the situation or reading my opponent than you are. Like when it gets to a point where it's kind of like mundane and you don't really get much of a chance for personal expression or to show how good you individually are at a fighting game, then what's the point of playing it anymore?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's just day and night of certain characters where it's to the point like, you know how we say, oh man, X-Men is not gonna be the same without Hugh Jackman. He was Wolverine. You know what I mean? That's how you can. Some people relate it to fighting games. It's like, oh, remember Street Fighter 4? Remember Smug's Dudley? His Dudley? You know what I mean?
Or Daigo's Ryu versus.
Okay, there we go. No,
versus like Alex Valle's Ryu.
I felt bad. Right. I was like, this. That was a strong ass Dudley though. Forgot it. That shit was ridiculous.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That was his. Like how I said, that was his form of instruction. And it made it sort of the point where if anybody else was playing the character, they had a Smug like standard to it, or just it was ass. You know what I mean? It's true.
It's so true.
It definitely is true.
It's just certain things that aren't the same, and I hope it doesn't become the norm. Like I would like for me to say I have the best, the best Cody in the world, or the best fucking Aaron Black in Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang, whatever the case may be. I just hope it doesn't become like the cookie cutter of everybody playing the same fucking character. Like, for example,
once everybody plays it the same way, then what's the point?
Exactly, and it's become so like fundamental for a lot of players to even play the game, to say they can play the game their way. Like Infiltration revolutionized stuff with Minette, and then Bonchan had a lot of good stuff with Nash. Infiltration and like invented a lot of stuff with Nash, and you get where I'm going with that. But it's just becoming more and more and more and more rare, and I fucking hate it. Like, Punk is the only person playing Karen to like a world-class level, and that took him a while.
Right.
Mind you, we were just talking about Power Rangers.
Because no matter what you would say...
this goes right into it, though. Because everything to do with...
we didn't have too much to say about Power Rangers,
we had much to say about it.
It kind of segues into the whole what makes a good fighting game.
Yeah, the skill gap. Yeah. When we took it back to skill gap, we used Street Fighter 5 as an example.
Well, the thing about that is sure you have the skill gap, and that's part of it, but the main thing about it, and the reason that skill gap really exists, the skill gap is more of a symptom than what people are actually looking for in fighting games. When you're talking about expression, if I have a lot of ways to properly express myself in a fighting game, then that means that naturally there's going to be a large skill gap. Because there are plenty of ways for me to play a character, and they're all viable and they're all useful in their different situations, means that what I pick and choose to use kind of defines who I am as a player. And once you dumb that down and like limit my options or limit what the best option is to like, here's the proper option at every time, that reduces the skill gap as a consequence, but it also gets rid of that expression, which was my problem from Street Fighter 5 from the door.
Because it had a one-size-fit-all type of
back when Ryu was actually a character worth playing, you basically played Ryu one way all the time in 5. Whereas in 4, it was like Daigo's Ryu and Vai's Ryu, both of them were really high class Ryus. You could pick up any like other Ryu, like, or Evil Ryu would be even better example. Like Daigo's Evil Ryu versus like Momochi's or something like that. Like, or Tokido's Akuma versus Infiltration's Akuma. They played completely differently, but both of them were world-class players.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that anymore. It's like the best way to play a character is this way, and that's fucking lame. Even if fundamentals are like there.
Now, would you say the meta of the game affects how people express themselves too?
Well, it's just if the meta of the game is actually deep and varied enough within a particular character that it's not that, oh, this character beats that character unless I fuck up. And like and when basically as soon as the match starts, you know what everybody's gonna do. And the difference is who fucks it up first.
Yeah, like, that's how Street Fighter V plays. You already know the result.
Yeah, it's like you know how the match is going to go, and the only question is whether or not somebody is going to call somebody out on like some super high risk shit, or whether or not somebody is going to fuck up in how they're running their game plan. But each character has a specific type of game plan. Certain characters beat other characters, and there's no real variation in how people play for the most part.
So what annoyed me is why did they take away close standing normals? Why did they take that out?
Proximity normals?
I mean, I don't think that's
I didn't understand that.
But the reason they did that was
to dumb it down. To dumb it down.
They dumbed Street Fighter down like a lot for 5.
You know, that's I don't want to get too much into that because that's actually our later topic.
What, dumbing shit now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it here.
Yeah, well, it's going to be. Well, we should probably take on that topic. Whatever.
Well, yeah, let's move it up. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can. Yeah, that's good.
Because we could talk about our results later.
Can I start? Can I start?
Yes, sir.
All right. The problem I have with dumbing things down is that it's like becomes borderline transparent. Like, for example, I'd like you to name me one hard combo in Street Fighter V. One actually hard combo.
There is one.
Right? So, meanwhile...
purposely got rid of them.
Right. So, in Street Fighter 4, I can name you like a couple 2 to 1 frame link combos that are really hard to do. And when you get that combo, you're like, yeah, I fucking did it. You know what I mean? Like even
Chun-Li leg loops, even Ryu combos.
Yeah, a whole lot of shit.
Ibuki shit.
Like jabbing the ultra with a couple characters.
Any
Viper shit.
NEC Viper combo, El Fuerte Fierce loops, all that shit.
Almost every character has some really good, some really like high execution level type stuff that doesn't necessarily, that isn't necessarily like, yeah, I mean, we're talking about 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like 4, every character has some decently high execution stuff that isn't necessarily like strictly essential to playing the character, but it's like if you can do that, if you go for that, I mean, it goes back to what we were just saying about expression. Some people would rather take the high percentage, low execution combos and just run the bread and butters, but other characters really go for that super desk-like optimal shit. And that's really fucking cool because everybody recognizes that it's really hard to do and that you don't really have to do that to win. And that's for any character in the game. You look at Street Fighter V, you can't point out any character, any combo that's really like, yo, that was the Flash. You know what I mean? Like that's that swag combo. Unless it's burning resources. That's the only way that it's ever like a quote unquote swag combo is if it burns resources unnecessarily. But the execution level just isn't there. And yeah. I don't have a problem with, like, to piggyback off what Kenny was saying, I don't have a problem with people, with a game being dumbed down to a certain extent. But when it gets to the point where it's like, I can't style on people, then it becomes a problem.
Boo.
Like for instance, one of the newer games that just came out really is like Dragon Ball, basically. And yes, it's very simple, but there's actually like some hard stuff to do in that game.
I mean,
so it's just like
there's cool stuff to do that's like unnecessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like you run the risk of dropping it. You run a higher than normal risk of dropping it, but it gets you a little bit more advantage. And that kind of having that kind of shit is important. Just because it allows players to express themselves. Express yourself. But yeah, that's really that's what the dumb it down argument for and against like amounts to. Because there's an argument for dumbing games down. Like I don't want every game to be like fucking Third Strike.
Well, they also argue that they want to appeal to a more casual audience.
Well, you can not a more casual audience. They want to appeal to a wider audience, and that is the advantage of dumbing a game system down. Because there's a reason don't nobody play Virtua Fighter.
It's too fucking hard.
Like, and it's not that Virtua Fighter is a bad game, but it's real freaking just fundamentals and fucking difficult ass game to actually play at a high level. People don't understand the game. So at that point, it's not flashy or not visually flashy, which is also that's also an important thing that a lot of us like tournament level players really overlook. How a game
has to look pretty too. So
yeah, how a game looks is actually very important to how well a game is going to perform.
Like KOF, for instance.
Yeah, facts. Like if you don't look good, then people aren't going to be immediately drawn into your game. Because having really good systems and mechanics and all that shit, none of that shit matters if people aren't interested in actually playing your shit.
Like for instance, you're going from 13 to 14.
Yeah,
like 13 was the fucking gorgeous game. And then
14 looked ugly.
And then you see 14 and like, ew, what the fuck is this?
Looks like a PS2 game. And and I said that shit too. And
we all said that shit.
And like, most of the time, I don't even care about graphics. But when you take a drastic step backwards like that, it becomes noticeable. And people care a lot more than they realize about how a game looks, how a game sounds. All of that type of shit goes into whether a game is good, and it makes it more accessible. So it's not just like, oh, we got to dumb it down to make it more accessible to people. Marvel's a really hard game to get into.
I was going to say, going from Marvel 3
like Marvel 2. Well, I wasn't even talking about that. I'm talking about let's take it back to something that was actually, on some golden age shit. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, right? Marvel vs. Capcom 2. At high level, those games were difficult as fuck to get into. But everybody liked playing them because they looked and sounded amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can do to make a game more accessible to, or have a broad range of appeal that doesn't necessarily involve just making it fucking easy button. I mash one button and win, because you get rid of a lot of the fun of the game.
Like actually put like a good tutorial or something like that, so people can actually learn something.
Yeah, well, they do that in anime games.
Yeah, like Guilty Gear. Like Guilty Gear is a very difficult game to play, and I mean, I do wish it was more popular. But if they want to make it more popular, the last thing they need to do is dumb that shit down. Because I mean, they dumbed it. Actually, Guilty Gear was a good example.
Gear is pretty much the dumbed down version.
Yeah, Guilty Gear Xrd is a good example of how you should dumb down a game. Like, get rid of all of the real obscure mechanics and shit like that. But when it comes down to, well, not even get rid of them, just simplify the more obscure mechanics. But when it doesn't affect how well you like player expression with their characters and player mastery with their characters, like that's still there. Like, so that's a really good example of how you properly dumb down a game.
Well, same thing with Tekken also, because Tekken actually got slightly dumbed down, but
that shit started with tag.
Yeah,
it started with tag,
but Tekken's better for it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so the big disconnect when it came down to like Tekken, well, it started with 6, but basically they made moving around a bit easier for people. and also they made like the game a bit more combo heavy. So, and that's the kind of thing people like in a fighting game. They like the ability to push a lot of buttons. Like I hit you,
do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, do a lot of cool stuff. That's where the flashy stuff comes from. So for us to be able to go, it went from a game of like at the most, if you did a 5-hit combo, like that was some shit. Like, yo, look at this move, look at this jump from Brian 8. It's like a 5-hit jump he did. Like that was like the go-to jump.
Yep, and it did a shit ton of damage. I remember that. Like,
yep.
Yeah. Now it's just like you actually they changed it in a good way because they dumbed it down so like anybody can just pick it up and play it. But at the same time, it was also, hey, we have like different moves have different properties now, and you're gonna have to learn that. So okay, cool, and it made it just a bit more fun to like actually do like knock somebody in the air and juggle them up in the air for a little bit. Like it was a fun fucking game, and it was just like, hey, you know, power, like adding armor, like adding power crush moves and shit like that. They played with it in Revolution. They're like, all right, we're gonna do this power crush move where you have armor, and with that armor, you can do a move. However, they balanced it with, hey, if you get hit low though, it canceled it. But
that's fair.
That made it fair. But it did dumb down the game a little bit because you're telling me I can get somebody on the floor with just a button. Cool. Then it was like, but now you have to learn how to use that button properly. So right. it wasn't. I don't want to say it like, and I'm hearing myself talk about it more. I don't want to say it was dumbed down. They just made it a bit more user friendly,
more accessible.
That's yeah. Cause I was playing tag. I was playing tag 1 at Winter Brawl. That's my first time. Like, all right, now that I know how to play Tekken, I'm gonna play like tag 1, and I realized how limited I really was. I'm like all the things I could do in like even in Tekken 5, I can't do none of that stuff in tag. Like more like backdashing and stuff like that. It's like I had to do a lot more. My precision had to be a lot tighter. And I didn't have like just I couldn't just push buttons. I had to like, all right, this is the combo. You can do this combo. However, you can't dial. You can't just do whatever you want. But yeah, it comes with the age, I guess. I think like that's what happened with Tekken. It became more accessible, and it became like easier for people to get a different game every single time a new one comes out, but at the same time not lose the integrity and the feel that is a Tekken game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
speaking of more, question. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. So, this is actually going to go somewhere else. So, go ahead, finish your statement, and then I'll ask the question to you, Howland.
No, because I was going. I had a segue statement my damn self. So, go ahead, ask me.
All right. So, from Street Fighter 2 to Street Fighter 3, do you believe that Capcom dumped down Street Fighter 3?
No,
Street Fighter 3 was actually.
It was more accessible, but it was actually more obtuse. It was more complicated.
It became a big, like, especially Third Strike when they were really glorifying this whole parry thing. They were like, yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, like with Street Fighter, what they did, they started off with 2, where a lot of the shit was just difficult to execute. It was a simple game, but a lot of the shit that you do in the game is extremely difficult execution-wise. But what they did was they made the systems more and more complicated, but the execution easier and easier. Until they got to 3, where they had like pretty complicated systems and one of the highest execution things that you had to rely to actually properly use the system. You had to rely on the most highest fucking like the highest execution thing in the game, which is just the parry.
I have better you scrub.
Huh?
Better execution than you scrub.
Right. It's like if you could properly parry, then that really being able to parry and being able to like properly bait parries and just play around it was really what separated people who were good at Street Fighter 3 from people who weren't. It wasn't even about the fundamentals anymore. It was about being able to take advantage of this fucking super fucking powerful mechanic that is hard to do execution wise. So yeah, like Capcom's gone through a lot in, its years of creating fighting games, but whatever.
I just think that this idea that they tried with Street Fighter V, it didn't stick so well, in my personal opinion.
Well,
the direction, I should say.
Yeah, I agreed. It's pretty ass.
Yeah. Don't like it
at all. But speaking of freaking making shit more accessible, we had this discussion, or rather, this discussion has been coming up on whether games that don't have an easy mode should have an easy mode or not. What y'all think about that? I mean, I know what y'all think.
No, I disagree. They shouldn't have an easy mode.
It should never, Nick. Man, we were in the early '90s and everything. There was no such thing as an easy mode or anything. We had one difficulty.
You had to fucking deal with that. Get good.
To deal with it as being a child, having to try Battletoads and Lion King and all these other freaking wild, crazy games back then.
Well, all right. Hold on, because back then games were a lot simpler, and they taught you how to play the game in the first stage without actually having to stop and tell you, jump on this block.
I'm about to say, they do tutorials and shit.
I know. It's even easier now.
No, I know. They do that now. That's because everybody wants to be catered to.
They spoon feed you. People are fucking spoiled.
Everybody wants to be catered to. Everybody wants to, I want to do it this way. No. Dark Souls is a pretty example of that. It doesn't tell you what the fuck to do. Just go out there and fight. You come back, you live and fight another day.
And it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. The fuck? These motherfuckers need to stop getting spoon fed and just fucking get good.
Learn how to play. Like, all right, here's my thoughts. I actually want to hear what like Kenny and like Lamar have to say about this too. But like, here's my thoughts. If there's no easy mode in a game, it's because there wasn't supposed to be.
Exactly.
Like, it's a game that where a lot of the draw to it and a lot of like a lot of the thing that makes the game good or that you should be looking for in this game that the developers want to highlight in the game is the challenge in beating the game.
Yep.
So I forgot about Ninja Gaiden 1.
I was just about to say that game was so fucking hard.
It's like if a game is really hard, that gives you so much more. It gives you so much more of a sense of accomplishment when you finally beat that game that was extremely difficult. Like, and people forget about that. Like, it's not about just this game is too hard, I can't beat it, so there must be something wrong with the game. If you actually take the time to get fucking good at the game, then you'll eventually be able to beat it. Like, that's the whole sense of progression that is supposed to be. Like, honestly, that's really like, what the fuck do you play video games for in the first place?
All right, so I gotta ask you this question then. It's about League.
Who do I put on Nash's when? Okay, I'm sorry.
No. What are the things that League teaches you?
Okay, so League. All right. I think that for example, like Street Fighter 5 took some of the wrong things from League, where it's like dumb down the character and make a character always play a certain way. That's that's something that it's like in League, but League is a freaking MOBA. It's ultimately a fucking strategy game. It's based on a strategy game. It's based on like Warcraft and shit, right?
Yeah.
Or it's based on Dota, which was like a Warcraft mod. Like there's a whole history to it and shit. But the point is that what League teaches you is not only how to like control your particular character and like the ins and outs of your character, but it's like it controls it's like a certain level of micromanagement. It's a certain level of macro management. It's strategy. Like, there's a lot of strategy to it where you have to position relative to your teammates, where you're controlling objectives, you're getting information by using like wards to like place wards and get vision on places, and that gets so important at a high level. And people talk about vision all the time if you watch like the pros play, because a lot of what League teaches you is how to properly make decisions based on the information that you have among the map, around the map, and that's entirely based on vision. So, like, League does teach you a lot of things, like, it teaches you to take account of like your items and like your stats and be able to like kind of calculate on the fly whether or not you're going to win or lose a fight, how you should approach certain fights in order to properly to come out ahead. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to take account of on League. So I'll say that it teaches you how to juggle a lot of multiple skills.
Didn't hear teamwork at all.
I mean, yeah, that's because when you're talking about what I was actually thinking about mentioning that, but when you're talking about what League teaches you as an individual, as far as solo kill, you won't always be taught teamwork.
Yes, that's true.
A lot of your team are a bunch of fucking retarded people who are not really interested in working with you at all.
When this late game and Jax is mad, you took his blue buff.
Yeah, right. Like ideally, it should teach teamwork, but with this, with the game being what it is, ain't always the case. I'm just going to be honest with you.
All right, I'm back. What are we talking about?
League of
Legends.
No,
the topic, Kenny, and I do want to hear your opinion on this, is should games have an easy mode?
Oh shit! Let me put down my food for this.
Why not?
Okay. Now, I do think that depending on the genre and the game, there should be like an assist me mode or whatever, because I'm kind of taken aback and surprised by how Capcom with Resident Evil had like basically an assisted mode, where it's like it helps you get headshots. Hell, even fucking God of War has basically a cinematic mode where you got to fight and then it goes back to the cutscene and walks you through the game. Thought that was wild. But
I think that was more for people wanting to get the story and not to play the game at the time.
Having there being like an easy mode in the game actually dates back, from what I remember, to Mass Effect 3, because Mass Effect also had a story where all you had to do was make moral choices, and then it'll summarize what'll happen, and then you have like a little bit of gameplay here and there. Now the reason this is coming up recently is because of Sekiro, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta suck it up. That game is supposed to be hard by design.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was my point. It was like, when it comes to games that don't have an easy mode, there's a reason they don't have a fucking easy mode.
Right. So I do.
If you get a From Software game, you know damn well it's gonna be hard.
Exactly, but not only that, this genre isn't necessarily new, but it isn't old either. But there are some games dating back from the NES that will make you want to pull your fucking hair out.
Of course.
So
Ghost.
Exactly. So those games make it like almost 3 times as more satisfying to beat, because when you're done, you're done.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
So if you're good enough to
man.
beat the game, you know you're good.
Yeah, like it becomes like the water cooler discussion. Hey guys, did you beat blah 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 blah? Yeah, I beat it on this mode. And they're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So
Big Vic's in the office. Watch out.
Yeah,
right.
but before easy modes, it was like I beat the game. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah. Now it's like, oh, I beat the game on its hardest difficulty and this, that, and the third. And I think it kind of spoon feeds how you're supposed to get better to you, as opposed to games where it was just straight up no easy mode. Because no easy mode, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a way for you to progressively get better. And if it's a good game design, then it's going to have that by way of when you start off the game, it's not quite as hard, or you don't have as much to keep track of, is when you get to like near the end of the game, where you have to really display your mastery of the fucking game.
Yeah.
But like, if I give you an easy mode, if I'm like, all right, well, you can just put it on easy instead, then you can basically go through the whole game and know what's coming in advance before you even really get into the challenge of the game or the difficulty. Like, you get to basically see what's coming up without actually being challenged.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there are certain games that even if it did have an easy mode, it wouldn't make sense because it doesn't fit into the game's narrative. The best example of that is actually one of my favorite games, Undertale. Undertale has a mode where you can go back on the genocide run and kill everything, and it's easy until the game says, "Oh, really?" And then you run into an Undyne, you run into Sands, and then you run into like actual problem. If that playthrough of the game had an easy mode, there would be no fucking point.
Right.
Literally. So.
Well, technically, isn't pacifist mode easy mode?
Technically, well, not really.
I would think that would be the hard mode, wouldn't it?
No,
really, Undertale doesn't have an easy mode.
Yeah, it doesn't even have a difficulty. Yeah,
it doesn't really have a difficulty.
The only thing that's hard about pacifist run is it's not straightforward. Like the game did not tell you need to go back.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things that Undertale won't tell you as far as what you need to do or how you need to go. But I mean, I guess that to a point, I definitely do agree with you that like it does depend on the game itself. Not even so much the type of game, but you know, on a case by case basis, as far as whether or not a game should have easy mode. But ultimately, I think that if a game doesn't have an easy mode, then that shouldn't be counted as like a detriment to the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I remember the developer for Sekiro saying that we're going to put in a mode where he doesn't get his arm replaced, where he's literally playing through the game with one fucking arm and no grapple arm.
Oh, that was sick.
Yo,
right.
I kind of want that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they might put in a DLC, but they were saying they were afraid people would complain it was too hard. And so it was like, you know.
I mean, I would just like, I don't like
just put it in the game.
I don't like that kind of difficulty where it's like you're taking away my options.
Wait, counter argument.
Like, I'm cool with it being hard. I don't want you to like take away my like a grapple. That's one of the the grapple is one of the things that makes Sekiro most reminiscent of like Tenchu.
Yeah.
And what makes it because you can play the game kind of like how you would play a Tenchu game.
Mm-hmm.
Even
though
probably
got the sound too.
It's still gonna kick your ass, but like still. You could play it like that, and if they were like no grapple arm, that would kind of just get rid of that entire aspect of the game.
Yeah, but they were saying from like a difficulty aspect, it's like in the first. I don't want to spoil too much, but in the first boss you beat, he cuts your arm off.
Okay, that's not bad.
Don't
spoil nothing. I'm actually gonna play this.
Man, that's not even a spoiler.
Yeah, that's actually the beginning of the game.
That's the beginning of the game.
Okay, that's how I thought. I'm like, okay, that's how he has one arm.
That's the very beginning.
We're gonna have a mode in between, like the hard mode and the moderate mode, where he just decides not to get his arm replaced. It's gonna be like noble mode or Ronin mode or whatever, but they didn't put that in.
Yeah, because how would you grapple and traverse the freaking
climb up the regular way?
You just wouldn't be slow.
You know what though? They could have did it and maybe do more damage.
That or you can't swing you can't hold your sword in one hand. Like you have to take the other hand, throw the grapple, then come grapple. Yeah. Right.
It could have been cool.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to deflect and stuff like that. You have one arm.
Okay, so let's do a control statement though. So Destiny.
Oh God.
Destiny 2. Let me finish. I know it sucks. Destiny 2. Mm-hmm. They have these things called raids, and the raids are like raids and dungeons are like, hey, you go with your people, you finish the mission, you guys got it. But they're not just, hey, go in there and shoot. Sometimes you gotta like do puzzles and do a puzzle room and then kill people in a particular order. And if you don't kill them in that order, they all come back. Like it was like really like meticulous, something like off of WoW. But they have these things called forges where basically these are the places you can get the weapons. Bungie was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. There's a forge that's a part of this expansion. However, until somebody beats this particular raid, you guys can't get to this forge. And they were like, all right, bet. This raid was so hard that they ended up just unlocking it. They're like, you know what? It's been almost 6 months.
Nobody can beat it.
No one can beat it.
Holy shit.
You talking about Star City or the Dreaming City or whatever?
Yeah.
I want to say, Riff, you should know about this.
Yeah, nobody could beat it. So they just said, you know what? We're sorry we made this so hard. At first we're thinking, difficulty. You guys, come to the challenge. But apparently this was a challenge y'all couldn't, rise
There's
to
a difference between something being difficult and being next to impossible.
Right. That's definitely like next to impossible. If nobody
Apparently,
if it's the case where everybody playing the game and none of these niggas could do it, then that shit was probably close to impossible.
Well, hold on now. Here's what I know about Destiny. There's no matchmaking for raids, so a lot of motherfuckers fall to the fact that they can't find a team to play with, or motherfuckers simply are just fucking competent to actually do that shit.
Sure, but just off of the law of averages, there's no way that everybody trying to beat this one thing is going to basically fail. Everybody.
mm-hmm.
You can't get a good team in the entire fucking existence of Destiny. Everybody playing this joint trying to get it. Nobody can get it.
Nobody could get it, and that was
if that happens, then it might be a little too hard. It might be like next to impossible.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. It was like
I was gonna say, how long did it take for us to beat what was that raid? King's Fall.
What was King's Fall? Describe that, because I haven't played Destiny.
Don't nobody remember that game ass nigga. Nobody played Destiny.
You gotta remind me of that damn mission, man.
It's the last raid before the Rise of the Machines bullshit.
Are you talking about Destiny 1 or Destiny 2? Because I didn't play Destiny 2.
Destiny 1. It took us at least 4 hours to do that shit.
All right, I'll be back, y'all. I'll be back.
Because motherfuckers is leaving, motherfuckers getting frustrated. Motherfuckers like, shit, I'm out of fucking heavy. They ain't got no fucking, what's that shit called? Glimmer to buy heavy packs.
Okay.
Heavy don't drop. Heavy don't. Well, no, I'm just saying it's a lot of factors besides it just being hard. And I don't think the raid is hard. It's just it's really the team comp or motherfuckers just got the wrong shit,
bro. I'm saying,
like, nigga,
if they brought out a raid and told everybody you can get this, but somebody, not everybody, one team has to clear this freaking mission. One out of everybody who plays Destiny, one team has to clear the mission, and nobody could do it. Then it was close to impossible.
Yeah, that shit was basically impossible, bro.
Come on.
I don't know, man. It's
everybody trash.
It's the fucking mechanics, man. Plus on top of that, you might get a team.
There's no way that every team every team had incompetent people. Every team in the entirety, everybody trying to beat the whole thing at one time, and everybody was incompetent, and everybody just needed to get good. No, that's not really a thing. Come on.
I don't know, man. With Destiny, it's a lot of factors into that shit.
Said, I don't know, man.
All right, you just yeah, right. You at this point, Chimchar, dog. You're just not going freaking concede the point. Like it's mathematically
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there. It's just that for me personally, being in the fold with Destiny,
that's because you're stubborn, man.
It's a lot of
you stubborn as fuck, yo.
There's a lot of shit that plays.
Yeah, he's just stubborn.
Yes, that game. I have a love and hate relationship with that game.
The game is ass, but good. Continue.
I have a love and hate relationship with that game. So yes, I know what people are saying. Nobody could beat it, so they just unlocked it, just to make the game easier, so that people can get their levels up to a suitable level. Plus, I thought the level recommendation was like 600 for that raid.
Was anybody even 600?
Don't know.
Maybe not.
How about Destiny sucks and we should move on?
Anyway,
fine. Yeah, this is getting. I don't know why. Well, I don't know why Lamar even brought that up. But like, the whole discussion was about easy mode and all that shit.
Anyway,
it's like I think it's better if some games don't have easy mode because the sense of accomplishment is better. You get more of a sense of accomplishment if you beat something and you didn't have the option to even, get the preview of what it was going to be as easy.
All right, well, hold on now. Since we're talking about games being impossible, there were fucking fucking Nintendo games, and you know this. That it just felt like it was impossible to fucking beat. Yes, they're beatable. Like for instance, Turtles on fucking NES.
No, I wouldn't say that felt impossible at all.
Well, there's certain games that were forged by Satan. I'll say that.
Ghouls and ghosts.
I mean, yeah, like Ghouls and Ghosts. There's a whole lot of games that were fucking
Battletoads.
like. Are you fucking serious?
All right, so
Absolutely.
I gotta ask this question: do you think Contra is beatable without putting in a 30 live scope?
Yes.
Yes.
It's been done.
You did it?
Have I done it personally? No.
I was about to say, it didn't happen.
I ain't trying to put in that kind of time.
Right.
But it's doable. I know people who've done it.
Yes, it's doable, but up there on the scale, is it common? No. It's doable? Yes.
No, it's not common.
Just like the raid. It's doable? Yes. But niggas are too incompetent to do the raid.
And obviously it wasn't doable if every fucking body playing the game tried for months and nobody could do it.
Just like niggas back in the day tried for months to beat Mega Man.
Mathematically, no. Even games like those, there were people who were able to do it. It might have been 1 in 1,000, but it was people who was able to do it. It was doable. If thousands, like in this day and age, we're in an internet day and age, dog, where it's like everybody has a really vast and wide shared pool of knowledge that's called the fucking internet. And people are playing together and they're freaking coordinating and cooperating and all of that shit. Mm-hmm. So people figure out games a lot faster than they used to back in the day. It's actually one of the problems with creating a game that has a lot of replay value because a lot of times you can just look shit up.
Right. And actually, fun fact, I don't mean to piggyback off you too about Hard Holland. Fun fact, I have not played a single Dark Souls, Bloodborne, or a game like Sekiro. Like any of those, like
I haven't either, and I don't want to.
No, I'm playing it. I'm playing it.
No, I actually am looking forward to it because there's not a lot of games that offer like a tilting fucking tutorial level to the point where you want to commit Sudoku 30 minutes.
And fight that nunchuck nigga in Ninja Gaiden was the most.
Exactly.
That was actually the hardest. That was actually the hardest boss in the game.
That was the hardest boss. Oh my god!
Because after that, you get other stuff that allows you to beat the other bosses easier than it is to beat that boss.
Not only that, but he hit the hardest and he barely missed his nunchuck strikes, and it was the most tilting shit of all time. But yeah, so like so it's funny to hear people do I want easy mode, or whatever, where I'm actually looking forward to buying the game. And the only reason I haven't I've hesitated is because I want to find the fucking collector's edition. Yeah. But either way, I'm actually looking forward to something that is significantly, considered harder.
Yeah, difficult to even complete. Like saying that completing it on hardest difficulty doesn't have the same kind of draw to it as just saying that this game is difficult to beat at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But
that's why I like games.
But
if the point
there is certain games that you do get certain prestige, like for beating, obviously the Dark Souls games.
Yo, remember Mile High Club? Yeah.
Not really. There's no prestige in beating Dark Souls on hard. The game is hard by itself.
But not many people beat it.
That's the thing. Like saying that I beat Dark Souls is like that's an accomplishment.
That's an accomplishment because a lot of people don't beat it.
Yeah, if it's really difficult to just beat in general, like it's different than saying like
it's not even difficult.
It's pretty difficult, dog.
Have you beat all three?
I beat all three of them actually.
Did you beat Neo? Did you beat Bloodborne?
I beat Bloodborne. I had Bloodborne on PS4. Take a look at my trophies.
Okay, nigga. Damn.
Look at those trophies.
You gonna flex? Okay, cool. I just don't like those type of games. I just don't like those type of games. So that's why I don't play them.
Mm-hmm. The thing with Bloodborne and Dark Souls is it's not about how high your level is. It's pretty much learning the combat system,
learning the patterns,
it's always about the.
That's how man. You talk about Dark Souls. I'll take you back to something that was even harder than Dark Souls. The original Demon Souls, dog. It's the same game.
Same fucking game. I beat that too. We didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, but I beat that. But yeah, Demon Souls was the shit, and it wasn't. And you're right, it wasn't about your level or your stats. It was about learning the patterns and learning how the basically how to do everything.
But technically, if you want to talk about easy mode in that game, easy mode in that game was being a magic character.
Facts, but that's different. That's different. Like a strategy where it's like exploiting the game and like making the game easier for yourself through strategy is not the same thing as
an easy mode. Yes, you're right.
Basically going through and begging to the developers, hey, make my experience easier.
Just like on Ninja Gaiden 1, if you died too many times, you had to wear a pink scarf.
Oh yeah, they made the game easier, but they gave you like that pink scarf and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's whack.
Anyway, moving on.
We can debate that for years, man.
Yeah. Did we ever talk about the Dragon Ball patch?
No.
Fuck Dragon Ball.
Excuse me?
No, I'm just saying.
Yikes.
What'd you say?
Uh-oh.
Said, fuck Dragon Ball. That's what he said.
Fuck that. We still talk about
something. Don't be mad because you can't play that game.
No, I can't. I can't play anything.
With your old ass reactions.
That's where Viv goes petty. As a matter of fact, I don't have arms.
With your old ass reactions.
I can't play anything.
Nigga said that shit. The whole room just stopped.
Don't be mad because you ain't got no reactions, nigga. You old as shit.
That was fucked up.
That was intense. It was like, all right, he ain't mean it right. No, chill, bro.
You can't block. You can't block shit. You can't block a simple high-low.
Rice, you know it's funny when people mention the game that sucks, you completely castrate it. But when people mention a game that you like, you castrate them if they don't like it.
But Dragon Ball don't suck.
No, I love Dragon Ball. I'm just saying, fuck Dragon Ball.
You.
We were still talking. We were still talking about
Dragon
that
Ball
subject.
don't suck.
It doesn't suck to you.
I wasn't ready to move on
lot
yet.
of people.
That's what that
Ready to
was.
release the hounds and shit. Like, look,
It doesn't suck to a lot of people.
if you don't like it, whatever.
No, Dragon Ball's not a bad game, and I think it's a spiritual successor to Marvel.
It's better than Marvel.
Don't say that.
In my opinion.
I mean, that's what it is. Lamar, we just gotta accept it. It's the spiritual successor to Marvel right now.
Oh my god!
Ew, Joker, no, it's not. Marvel 3 is not the best fighting game.
What
Stop.
were we talking about as far as Dragon Ball is concerned?
The
Play
patch.
the patch. What's your thoughts on it?
Oh, okay. All right. So
Speaking of dumbing a game down,
I don't think that's so much dumb the game down. I like how they gave it more. They gave a lot of characters more options and more things that they are able to do that they weren't able to do before. I don't know if this patch really went towards properly balancing the game so much because because a lot of the characters that were already good are still fucking stupid, if not better.
Not necessarily. You know, a couple characters, 16, got buffed really well with his level 1 buff and everything. Bardock. But he's been the best since he got in the game. So
most of the top tiers, like they might have got some slight nerfs, but for the vast majority of them, they
buff Adult Gohan?
But they but they didn't really they buffed some of the weaker characters too,
which is cool. But like, there's no reason to make characters that are already among the best in the game stronger, and they did that. A lot of the characters that were weak, they made them. They actually hit them with like some nerfs. Like they hit Krillin with like a nerf. Like, why would you ever? Why would you ever do that?
All right. Well, then you have to also understand why was people playing. You have to also stand from a developer standpoint. They might see something that the general public can't see.
That's still
and now we never will, though. Like,
I know, right?
Well,
it's better just to give them a buff and just wait it out.
I don't know. The game doesn't have that much variety at the top echelon of the game, so to the point where wherever
I can push buttons, and it doesn't matter.
Out of morbid curiosity, I do want to see a Krillin in top 8 just to see what the fuck he can do because I've never seen it.
Quiet.
Yeah,
there we go.
All of the stuff that he's capable of doing, it can't be worse than what the fuck Bardock and 16 and other characters are able to do.
Right.
Like, it's not worse than that. So there's no reason to take it out if it's not some really fucking busted shit. Like, they didn't nerf Yamcha assist or really anything about Yamcha for the most part.
They needed a nerf
Like,
Yamcha assist.
It's like a lot of the things that people are just running, they've left in the game, and it's not like they really replaced it with stuff. They just gave certain characters, oh, here's this like new cool toy for you to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guess my problem with Dragon Ball is that, well, I think I forget exactly who said it when they were actually talking about it, but as opposed to comparing it to Marvel, they compared it to Melty Blood. And I know a lot of y'all didn't play Melty Blood, especially like Actors or Cadenza, the one that came out before the Melty Blood that was actually at Evo and that everybody was playing. But the main problem with that game, even though I love the fuck out of that game, was that too many characters play pretty much the exact same way. And that's kind of the problem with Dragon Ball, where the system is set up that there isn't enough character variety in what characters do on a fundamental level. Like everybody kind of does the same thing for the most part. And even though they may have specials that switch things up, and this patch kind of added to that, it's not really critical towards how they play. You know, you still throwing out your buttons, trying to poke into the block string, into your little high-low fucking instant air dash mix-up, into then knock you down and repeat the process.
Listen, if you break it down that way, then you might as well eliminate half the damn games, man.
No,
because you can't just say they do this, and then
no, because here's the thing with Marvel, for example, which is what the game gets mostly compared to. Like if you take the Marvel 3, or even Marvel 2, which is probably more like Dragon Ball than Marvel 3 is, because
Marvel 2 is definitely more like
it was reduced to because it was reduced to basically like the same 6 to 10 characters at the highest level. But the thing about Marvel is not every character or not every team has those kind of similar game plans and similar win conditions. In Dragon Ball, every team has the same kind of win condition, dog. I don't know if you noticed that or not. But like whether I'm playing Vegito and I'm just trying to block string you until I can open you up, or whether I'm playing somebody like Gotenks where I actually have fucking mix into opening you up. Everybody's really just trying to fucking get in there or super dash in there or do, call an assist, super dash, or call an assist, dash in, or some other way to get in, then get you blocking, mix you up, hit you with a combo.
Big mix.
Everybody hated Chris G team with Morgan and with Doom missiles, right? But that team had a win condition that was not the same as a zero team win condition. Like Morgan could keep you out all game and legitimately win the game from that. What character in Dragon Ball is keeping you out at all?
It looked like that's what Frieza was built for.
Frieza, I think is supposed to be that, but it just.
I mean, maybe, but how did that turn? Or if you watch all of the Friezas, do they actually try to keep you out? No.
Well,
Frieza does the same thing as Bardock, just with slightly different tools.
Bardock.
And that's kind of my problem with the game. Like, there's not enough variety in your win condition. Your win condition boils down to the same thing every time, which is why I said the game was like Melty Blood, because for whether you were a zoning character or a rushdown character, you were getting in there trying to do fucking basically 2L into your combo, into your setup. And that's what everybody was doing. And that's a little too strong in this game. But yeah, that's not talking about the patch specifically, but for the patch, it's kind of like whatever. It's still Dragon Ball. They added some new tools.
Wow. Just wow.
What?
Why don't you do it?
What? I personally just think that the last patch, honestly, the meter penalty thing kind of killed the game a little bit.
Meter penalty?
Yeah.
The meter penalty was that once you do a super, there's a short period of time
where you gain very little bit of meter.
Yeah, meter gain is basically cut to pretty much nothing. It's pretty much it was specifically a hard nerf to Go Tanks.
To Go Tanks because he built meter while doing his Ghost Oki.
Yeah,
and it make the match last a little bit longer.
No.
Oh no, not really, but
it was basically what I've noticed this balance team likes to do is look at certain abuse cases where they see people abusing the system, and then well, yeah, literally abuse cases,
for real,
where people find out where they look at what people are doing to abuse how the system works, and then make a small change to the system to pretty much get rid of that, but not really touch the rest of the game. But the problem with that is it gets rid of a lot of the uniqueness of a lot of characters.
Because like the meter penalty completely destroyed like
Ghost Oki.
Who else had some? There was somebody else who had like really good Oki from that.
Yeah, like a couple things, like freaking Fuse Amasu.
Yeah.
Like
Fuse Amasu, Hell's on Grenade mix up. Well, Piccolo is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, Piccolo is stupid anyway, but
he's even stupider now.
Yeah, they buffed him, which is like what? But yeah,
they buffed him, and now he's like basically top 3 now. So, well, top 3 again, I should say, or top 5.
Oh, whatever. But yeah, like the thing about it is when you nerf stuff like that, when you nerf abuse case shit like that, it makes it so that the game's less, or that the characters have even less individuality, and they already are in a game where the most optimal play is usually the same with pretty much every character.
Bardock 16.
Like they started that early when they nerfed 16's fucking command grab. They used to just give you a hard knockdown into a setup. It was like, yeah, that was fucking OP as fuck, but but it was something that he had that nobody else had. It made him really unique. So instead of like leaning into a lot of characters' uniquenesses and nerfing them in other ways that make it fair for them to have that strength, they just got rid of it and make characters play more of the same. And yeah, I'm not feeling that. Like getting rid of the double super thing. Like the double super thing was really OP. Or rather, not so much that it was OP, but it enabled characters. It enabled you to build teams that could really easily one-touch kill characters.
Oh.
And it was like, okay, and that was really strong. But instead of putting in buffs to other playstyles,
it definitely brought like certain characters into the freaking meta, like Zamasu and Tien.
Zamasu and Tien, it made Kid Buu was strong for
Kid Buu was pretty much the best
reasons already. But Kid Buu and Ghost Tanks were already really fucking strong. But that was something that they had too, that not every character had that you wanted to use them for. Fucking Super Saiyan Goku, that was like one of his bread and butter things that he
they took that out in this patch.
That he could do 2 supers, and it was really unique to that character. But instead of, when they see something really strong, instead of being like, we should embrace that, they usually kind of just get rid of it. Which I'm so.
Wait a minute, double super? You mean like someone doing a super twice?
All right, so there's basically certain situations.
Link level 1 into level 1.
Yeah. There's certain situations where instead of a DHC, you can just link a level 1 into another level 1. And what they did was they made the scaling on linking on
go to like 1 damage or some shit like that.
Yeah, go to like, well, it wasn't.
Or was it like 10?
But it was like a jab's worth of damage. Where it did so you would spend a bar to get like a jab's worth of damage. So they linked that, they made that specific situation where you spend a meter, and then if you try to combo after that, and if you spend another meter on a super, and it's not a DHC, your damage scaling gets cut to practically nothing.
Dog shit.
Yeah, I hated that change.
Yeah, and it's like I understand why they did it to try to make it more fair, but it removes individuality of the game, and that goes back to my main point on why you play fighting games is for expression, and And anything that gets
this is just the expression progress, huh?
Yeah, and if you get rid of anything that like affects how a player can express themselves with their team selection or with how they play the game, it's generally not a good change.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, but again, they gave certain characters certain different tools like ground bounces and shit like that I'm gonna have to play with a little more. So they're kind of giving you back expression in different ways. So we'll see how it balances out. But yeah,
no one likes change.
I mean, I'm fine with change as long as it's good. And then in this case, it's kind of a mixed bag.
Right.
Anyway.
All right.
Any other thoughts, Rice? Since you're the other main Dragon Ball player here.
Yeah, like you were saying, I don't like some of the changes. Like overall, I think the game is better compared to what it was last patch because there was a lot of fuckery in the last patch. But yeah, they need to like do like certain changes. I want my double super back. That's for damn sure. My team could kill you in one touch again.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, you're saying you want your Super Chun back in this game?
Yo, man. Listen, well, my team already hurts as it is, so they touch you twice, you die. But yeah,
make my team great again.
Make my team build more meter again because they nerfed Vegito meter build. Yeah, and 21's meter build.
Yeah, the Vegito meter build nerf was kind of a shame. Even though, again, I understand that they're trying to make the game more fair, but this was one of the main reasons that you pick Vegito. So for them to get rid of it is really fucking bad because it's like, why would you get rid of one of the most unique things about the character? I would like to see them add more ways to. Pretty much, I would like to see them add, well, not so much characters, but add things to characters to make and balance the game to make it more, to make other strategies a little more viable. Frieza should be able to zone you out.
Frieza should be zoning everybody the fuck out,
but he can't, and so he generally
can't do it as well as it should. I should say.
Yeah, he can't really do it really well at all. So most of the time, Frieza players use all their projectiles and all that crazy shit that Frieza has that should be used to zone people out. He uses it like combo extensions.
Right.
So, like, make him not combo as well, but zone out better. Like, there's things that he can do to make other strategies.
Because the Zamasu was another one that was supposed to be kind of like a zoner type too.
Yeah, but there is no real zoning characters in the game. There's either characters that mix you up or characters that don't. Yeah, pretty much it. So yeah, I would like to see them give characters more individual strengths. And I know it's hard just because in Dragon Ball Z everybody kind of fights how Dragon Ball Z characters fight. But still, they can do something.
I don't know why that kind of made me laugh.
Well, no, like everybody freaking dashes in, gets in there, and everybody just throwing fucking punches and kicks and all that shit. Like that's how Dragon Ball Z characters fight. And I'm not saying that it should not be like that, but I should also be able to like sit back and throw tons of ki blasts at you and make it so that you can't fucking super dash. You know what I mean? You have to actually work to get in. Like I would like to see some variety in how different teams can win. Not just let me find the most broken fucking Oki setup into the most broken fucking mix up and then just run that shit. And if I'm not killing you, I snap you back so I can set it up again. Yeah.
This patch definitely reinforced like snapback meta in my opinion.
Make zoning more powerful and give us a fucking push block.
Or give us a better reflect.
I'll take a push block. Like give a push block that costs like a quarter meter and like
like faultless guard.
Yeah, basically.
Or defense or whatever.
Yeah, shit. Make it play more like Guilty Gear. I would be perfectly cool with that.
I would just say start incorporating shit from all these other fucking games.
Start incorporating shit from Guilty Gear, nigga. Please give me like a fucking Roman cancel type shit.
Well, that's kind of Vanish.
Vanish is ass compared to Roman cancel.
Well,
like,
yeah, but I'm just saying, like being able to cancel some type of moves, and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I would like basically Roman cancel. Vanish is only Roman cancel when it's fucking when you're in sparking.
Yeah,
and you get empty Vanish. That's when it's pretty much.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Sparking other.
Yeah. I don't think sparking was implemented as good as it really should have been, but that's just a problem with
sparking was busted the
game in general,
very beginning. So,
well, yeah, I know, but there was a lot better things.
Sparking is like dealable. You can deal with sparking now.
Oh yeah, it was busted before just because of the life regen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the most fucking ridiculous part about it. But yeah,
so yeah.
Did you have like some results or anything to talk about? Because we didn't do that.
Man. All right, so
just
some
quick.
results.
Fire them all.
We're gonna go through NCR and Bum's birthday bash real quick.
Just give us top three. Hurry, just hurry
top
up.
3. NCR was Street Fighter 5, Taquito first, Punk second, Fudo third, Tekken 7, Jimmy J Tran, P-Ling, and Run It Black.
I'm gonna watch that now.
Dragon Ball top 3 was Goichi Kazunoko, Subatomic Sabers.
Yep, shout outs to him, yo.
Shout outs to Subatomic Sabers, man.
Freaking making it work with Vegito and that fucking that tournament full of Japanese killers.
Shit.
He came out of pretty much
wow.
And he ain't even, I don't even think he made it into one of the last chance qualifiers. It fucking
no, he did not.
Yeah, he drowned in all the last chance qualifiers. The fucking whatever the fuck that was. With the world champion, yeah,
final summoning.
Yeah, at the final summoning. So good to see that he stepped it up.
Yeah, that way. I want to watch that P-Ling one because people were talking shit about P-Ling the other day, and I was trying to defend this person, and now I know for a fact that P-Ling is actually still got it.
Is a strong bull.
Strong bull. And also it's West Coast Tekken. If Jimmy doesn't win.
Watch West Coast Tekken, man.
If Jimmy doesn't win, it
looks so ass compared to freaking East Coast, man. That shit is
because all the good players are over here. Like the more you really sit down, they're not leaving either. Like everyone, like, no, I'm going to West Coast. Why? Money. Like, you know,
like
here.
most other games where freaking
the East Coast been the best at every game for the past like forever.
So I mean, it's been
besides the Japanese and
Street Fighter.
I'll put it this way: it's always been a hotly debated topic, but in general, a lot of the top East Coast talent ends up just moving to West Coast
because with the money.
Damn.
But yeah, all right. So what? Bums? What?
Yeah, Bum's birthday bash was this past week, and also
let's say Dragon Ball. We don't care about them other games.
What about Street Fighter?
No,
nobody cared.
No.
Bum's birthday.
Wait. Was Tekken there?
At Bum's birthday bash?
Tekken wasn't there.
Oh, then yeah, all right. This is Dragon Ball.
Street Fighter at Bum's birthday bash. Nobody cares.
Oh,
Dragon Ball.
Fine. Bum's John was first place. My man Okami.
Mm-hmm.
Second place, the Kill Sage. Third place, and third place was Sweet JP. Yo, Sweet JP was putting in the clinic. Oh my god, that shit was ridiculous. Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man Okami and Sweet JP. The Kill Sage, yeah, whatever. The Kill Sage being his consistent self and everything. Anyway. That was Dragon Ball at Bum Birthday Bash. Bum was running the new patch while NCR was running the last patch. So
yep.
All right, so next week, woo, April Annihilation.
What about it?
Just April Annihilation. Any previews, stuff like that?
Oh, see y'all there.
Will Punk win?
Will Punk win again? Well, not again.
We'll see.
But...
This is the first.
Yeah, this is
the first one.
Well, he won final round, but
Will Punk win another tournament? I don't know.
Will Punk win another one? He got second. He got second at freaking NCR.
Hey man, Tokido runs the soul.
Tokido owns the soul right now.
I doubt Tokido's gonna be there, so it's all so it's whatever.
And it's a ranking event too, so yeah.
Cool.
Let's see.
Is
that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Really.
All right. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Riff.
I got nothing else.
Okay.
Say I can't do no more.
I don't know.
Tap out.
Boo.
Joker keep talking about Marvel 3.
And
Joker,
Lamar,
man. Marvel 3 was great. Yes, it was great.
It was fun.
It was fun while it lasted.
We had a good time.
And then you had to run now. Y'all Infinite. Anyway.
Hey, Lamar.
Outro.
Outros. All right. Well, shout out to the Iron Fist of Philly. It's a circuit that a few folks in the community are working together to try to, get the best of the area to compete with each other. Most of it, a lot of you not. The best thing about it is, in my opinion.
Oh, I got this light. Oh.
No, what happened? But the best part about it, in my opinion, is it's basically free to join. You don't have to buy in or anything. And if you want to buy in to be a part of the finals, you can as well. We have right now almost 35 people actively in the circuit.
Cool.
We have almost 10 people who actually are part of the finals already. So shout out to, the staff and players part of that. Thank you so much for your support.
All
right.
Hi, everybody.
Interesting.
I would like to say shout outs to Rice Master for bringing this back.
You in lead with that fucking song.
Wink,
All right,
wink.
Lamar,
It's probably Rice Master though. Ew.
Yeah.
Rice.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Live on the air, I will see everybody, or my usuals at April Annihilation. It'd be great to be back. It's a little hiatus, or a little bit of downtime between Winter Brawl. Different games coming out.
Samurai Showdown. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
A lot of games coming out. Action games, fighting games, and all that. So, see April Annihilation. I look forward to seeing y'all, not smelling y'all. You know how I go. But just keep it real, keep it funky, but not under the armpits. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all I got.
Did you do this?
Yeah, he did.
All right, I think you hollering.
All right. Well, y'all know I'll see y'all next week at April Annihilation. I'll be doing my damn thing. And some people I'm more looking forward to seeing than others. Mostly, people I can smell. I'm looking forward to that. But, you guys gotta wash your ass, huh? You know what I mean? But
oh my lord, this guy.
Well enough. But yeah, so all right, we ain't gonna get into that. All right, wait for the release. But
This guy.
anyway, other than that, I'll be streaming some Sekiro.
Shadows Die Twice.
Shadows Die Twice. But yeah, Shadows Die Twice tomorrow night. Catch me at twitch.tv/Omega
Fuck that stream.
And Kenny, you can hate all you want. I don't care.
Yes,
And no, I don't. And that's it. Guys, remember to be kind to each other, and don't go.
God.
don't go to people who have shown that they don't like you. Don't go to their Twitch chat and start shit.
Oh.
And that's all you're gonna say about that?
And that's all I got. So yeah, you know, if you don't want to get your feelings hurt, don't do that.
So this DJ Third Strike here. Don't go to Twitch chats.
All right, shut up.
All right. Anyway, good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Sorry for the long break that we had, but I had a lot of real life shit going on. Rest in peace, Nipsey.
Thanks.
Yeah, for real.
He was a good man, and
Unfortunate.
yeah, unfortunate, man.
Lost his life,
But
not.
good night, everyone. See y'all in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night and Godspeed.